So yeah, so as I was saying, we're going to do a mock test. We've literally just met like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it's a brand new car for you. You're normally driving a Citroen C3. This is an Audi A1. It's petrol. And we just had a little go around the block just so you've had a little go, get used to it. And yeah, so we're going to do this mock test. And I'll explain everything to you in a second. And just sort of how you feeling? You all right?
Yeah, a little bit nervous, but I'm all right.
Yeah, it's funny. Just the mention of the word test can make people feel nervous, let alone with agreeing to be recorded. So you're happy that's recorded?
Yeah.
Very good. Glad you said that. Good. So and you've done a test before.
I've done one test before.
You did one test before, and you got a couple of serious faults, which we just talked about.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we're going to do this mock, and you've got your next attempt booked near the end of May.
Yes.
Very good. Right. Excellent. So let me just explain how the tests will work. It will last about 40 minutes, and it will include a manoeuvre. So we'll do one manoeuvre like you've been practicing with your driving instructor. It may include an emergency stop, and it will include a period of driving independently on the sat-nav, which I've got the sat-nav set up, which I'll get going in a minute. In terms of directions, just follow the road ahead at all times unless road markings or signs tell you otherwise. And if I need you to turn left or right, I'll let you know in plenty of time.
Okay.
If I say anything today and you're not quite sure what I've said, don't worry, just say and I'll repeat it. Okay. So no problem about that at all. We've done license check, eyesight check.
Yeah.
And so we're not going to get back out of the car. And I'm just going to ask you a question, a vehicle safety question. So could you tell me how you would check if your ABS system is working properly?
It will be a warning light coming if it's not.
That's it. Yeah, good. Why not? So yeah, I'll ask you one of those questions when we get going. So we're going to start with driving on the sat-nav. So I'm just going to, if you could turn the ignition on, that would just fire up my sat-nav because I've got it on to, I've got it working on the ignition. And I'm going to put that back in there. And can you see that okay? Is that visible?
Yeah,
you see that all right? So I'm going to press the start button on there. So, and the other thing worth mentioning is obviously we are not starting at the test centre. Well, I've just picked you up near your house, and I've pre-programmed that to take us to a destination. You'll have about 20 minutes driving on a sat-nav. Okay. So I hope that works all right. If it starts taking me the wrong way, I'll override it and give you directions as normal. Okay. So because I haven't tested it, I just want to make sure it works. So as we're in a car park, it might not recognise where we are. What we're going to do when you're ready, start the engine and we're going to turn left towards the exit, and at the exit turn right.
Okay. And
by then the sat-nav should start talking. If it says it wants you to do a U-turn, just ignore it.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, when you're ready, drive on. So we're off to a good start. Here Svet takes all-round effective observation using his POM routine.
After 200 yards, turn right, Graham Street, then turn left. Turn right, then turn left.
Again, more good driving from Svet. As he emerges from the crossroads, he's aware of the car opposite and is dealing with that nicely.
Turn left, A1024, Reynolds Street. After 200 yards, turn left.
Okay, so here's Svet's first driving fault. Signalling too early. Just have a look at the sat-nav. Look at where he needs to turn. So that's actually going to be the second road on the left. There is a first turn on the left. And it is just too early. People behind could think he's going to pull up and park. So it could be confusing to other road users.
Turn left, A1074, Dereham Road.
Okay, so you probably saw in the video there, Svet come to quite an abrupt stop. He made the right decision to stop at the traffic lights, but could have just eased off those brakes slightly and let the car roll forwards towards the first stop line. He could, if necessary, just roll slightly into the cycled lane to avoid an abrupt stop. There was a vehicle behind that also had to stop quite abruptly. I didn't record it as a fault, but just words of advice at this point. Also, while we're waiting at the lights, Svet hasn't applied the handbrake and has left it in gear, depressing the brake with the clutch down. So again, words of advice, best thing to do here would be to apply the handbrake, just so that he can release the brake pedal. There is a vehicle behind, so they're not getting the glare off the brake lights and the car will be secure. He could also rest his left foot when waiting at the lights, but that's his choice. So this is something Svet does at traffic lights or when stopping in traffic throughout the test, but again, I've not recorded it as a fault. So here Svet demonstrates more good driving. Here the traffic lights are on red, he ignores them as there's no stop line, not confusing them for a primary set of lights.
After 300 yards, turn right, A147, Grapes Hill.
More good driving from Svet as he's aware there's a bus lane to the left that is in operation and he keeps out of it.
Turn right.
Here Svet's been directed to turn right at the traffic lights, but look at the road markings. Both lanes here can be used to turn right. Svet's chosen to use the right hand lane, which is okay, but the left lane is available and he should use that. So I have recorded a fault as he should be aware of road markings and driving in the normal position, which is the left lane if that's available, unless of course he chooses to overtake slower moving traffic. Okay, this is good driving. Look at the gap Svet's left between him and the car in front, so there's a nice safe gap there. Good job. And again, just want to point out we are waiting here at traffic without the handbrake on and we're in first gear. Notice the cars in front, you can tell the two cars there are both holding their brakes on. So this is really why it's best advice to use the handbrake, just to kill those bright brake lights. So we're not giving any glare from behind, and also in the event of a rear end collision you're not going to be shunted forwards into the car in front of you. Okay, Svet has decided to use the left hand lane and not the bus lane, so this is good driving, correct position.
After 300 yards, cross the roundabout and take the third exit, A147, Chapel Field Road.
Here Svet's become confused by the sat-nav, which said cross the roundabout and take the third exit. So he's interpreted that as that we need to turn right and is preparing, quite rightly, to turn right and change his lane.
Cross the roundabout and take the third exit.
I'm actually going to be going ahead.
Oh, so I went on the...
Yeah, it's the third exit is ahead. Okay, so you're all right, you're okay in this lane.
Okay.
But we're not going to be turning right.
I've never been here.
Where that bus has gone.
Okay.
That's where we're going. Because there's two little lefts here. So.
Yeah, I've never been here, didn't I?
That's all right. Don't worry. So if you cancel your right signal, because we're going to go ahead, okay? You can go ahead in this lane.
Yeah. That one there,
yeah. Yeah, we'd be going down there. So Svet's very good under pressure here, still able to respond to traffic lights in a safe manner. Here Svet wants to return to the left hand lane and is actively looking for a safe gap in traffic to do that, but on this occasion it's busy and he would need to stay out for a little while longer. And notice how he's delaying that signal because he's aware there's a car and he doesn't want to affect it. Very good driving. If you stay in this lane, the next direction will be for right. Okay. So don't attempt to go back now, just stay in your lane. As soon as sat-nav would direct you to turn
After
right.
300 yards, go right on the roundabout and take the second exit, A11, St. Stephen's Road. Then bear left, A146, Ipswich Road.
So there I just provided a little bit of guidance for Svet as the sat-nav was about to instruct him to turn right, and he really now didn't need to be in that left lane. Okay. And on the sat-nav here, see it's like 1, 2, 3, third exit.
Right on the roundabout and take the second exit, A11, St Stephen's Road. Then bear left, A146.
Okay, I've
Ipswich
decided
Road.
to mark a driving fault for awareness and planning just due to the confusion with the sat-nav. I just feel Svet would benefit from a little bit of guidance, a little bit of practice using a sat-nav to make sure he follows that correctly and gets in the correct lane in good time. Okay, here Svet's planning to overtake a cyclist, and I'm really looking for mirror checks.
Yards, bear left, A146. Ipswich
Now at the
Road.
time I recorded a driving fault because I didn't see effective use of mirrors. Now on closer inspection on the video, just have a look at this, he had a little flick in the right hand mirror. I would like to see more obvious mirror checks with centre mirror first and then right mirror. On the way back in he does check mirrors and that's much better. Okay, we have a hazard developing ahead where the van's come to a stop. Svet does check his mirrors before bringing the brakes in. Well done. When Svet goes to move off, he stalls. Now look, when he moves off, I do not see effective use of mirrors. He checks the centre mirror, a little glance there. We really need to check the door mirrors for cyclists and motorbikes passing on the sides before we move off. And here we've got a vehicle turning right. I'd like to see that left mirror again checked before we change position in the road. So we really need to see these mirrors being checked effectively. Just think that motorbikes or cyclists could be passing.
After 300 yards, turn right, A140, Daniels Road. Turn right.
Okay, so here we have a serious fault coming up where Svet stalls at the traffic lights turning right. He's just accidentally put it in third gear there and stalls when moving off. You're in third gear. Carry on now. Carry on. Put a bit of speed on here, just get ahead. You're in a 40 limit now, just get up the road just to sort that problem out behind. That's it. Okay, so it's a serious fault because I've had to intervene just to make Svet aware that he was in third, and of course the lights had now changed and I had to advise him to move forwards if safe to do so.
Yards, cross the roundabout and take the second exit, A140, Mile End Road, then take the second right. Cross the roundabout and take the second exit, then take the second right. After 300 yards, turn right on Thank Road,
Just
then
going to slow you,
turn
just
right.
because you're just creeping slightly over the speed limit. There is a camera there. I didn't want you to get flashed, okay? It was only by 1 mile an hour, so but I'm just being a bit cautious there
Turn
because
right,
I don't want you to
then turn right.
stay in your lane. So just a couple of things there. You probably heard me intervening. I just asked Svet to slow down as we were just getting up to 31, 32 on approach with speed camera, and we just drifted out of our lane, which would have affected the car just passed on the left side, so I just advised him to get back over into his lane.
After 100 yards, turn right, then you have reached your destination on your left. Turn right, Christchurch Road, then you have reached your destination on
Turn
your
right
left.
here.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you
After 100
pull up
yards,
on the left
you
in a
have
safe
reached your
place.
destination on your left.
So on the left, safe place.
You have reached your destination.
That's the end of the independent drives. So the sat nav will stop talking to you now, and our direct you as normal. So just follow the road ahead at all times, as there's signs or road markings tell you otherwise. You know, if I need you to turn left or right, I'll let you know at
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, whenever you're ready, drive on. Here I've recorded a fault because Svet just drifts really close to the curb, almost touching it. So I've recorded a driving fault for normal position. And this is something that comes up later in the test, so keep watching. Svet's driving in this section was really good. Good use of mirrors passing parked cars and good awareness of speed limits. And also there was a cycle path earlier on which he kept out of, so that's really good. Okay, I'd like you to pull up on the right in a safe place. So pull up on the right in a safe place. Great, thanks for that. Now what I'd like you to do is reverse back at least 2 car lengths. Try and keep reasonably close to the curb, and when you've done that, then rejoin traffic. So you can reverse back about 2 car lengths, and when you've completed that, rejoin traffic. Okay?
Would you tell me where after the 2 car lengths?
Yeah, I mean, if you stop where you think 2 car lengths is, if I need a bit more, I'll ask you.
Okay.
But yeah, don't worry, I can just sort of go where you think 2 car lengths would be. That's fine. Again, Svet just dealt with the manoeuvre really well there, picking a nice safe place on the right to pull up, safe reverse, good all-round effective observation, and moved safely back into the traffic system, so really good job. And at the end of the road, I like to turn right. Traffic lights ahead. So here Svet's been asked to go ahead. However, look at the lane he chooses. He goes into the left-hand lane. So I've recorded a fault for awareness and planning because I really feel he could benefit from looking at road markings just to help him with his planning. Svet's made a good decision to stay in the left lane to turn left rather than proceed ahead in the left-only lane, as that would have been a serious fault. So good job. That's fine to do that on the driving test. You can go the wrong way without recording the fault. But like I say, if we could just help Svet with his awareness of planning of signs and road markings, that would really help. Here Svet starts to drift towards the curb again, getting really close to it. Just be aware of this jogger. Now that jogger's a safe distance, but if he was any closer to the curb, that could be going to a serious fault, because that could be potentially dangerous. At the roundabout, I've recorded a driving fault for undue hesitation, as Svet could have made progress when he first arrived at the roundabout. So he just needs to be looking earlier, planning to go, but prepared to stop. And at the traffic lights, follow the road ahead. Okay, we've seen Svet make this fault before. Before driving off and changing speed, he needs to be checking those mirrors for cyclists or motorbikes passing on either side. And when it's safe to do so, could you open and close your window? Great, thanks for that. Roundabout ahead, second exit, signposted for Ipswich. Here Svet does a much better job with his awareness and planning. He's using the sign of the roundabout and the road markings to plan the correct lane to proceed ahead. Well done. And at the lights, turn left.
Is that one for us as well?
Yeah. Okay, this roundabout, Svet gets a serious fault for observations at the junction. So we need to be looking into that roundabout and giving way to traffic to the right, which he does not. I have to jump in and control the vehicle, bringing it to a stop. Wait. Because he can come through there as he's done, see, so you need to keep that clear. So it was necessary to bring the car to a stop there because Sven was going to go and the VW Golf was going to move into that left-hand lane, so we would have affected it had we have proceeded at the junction. Here I record a driving fault for not making progress appropriate speed up the slip road. So we're quite slow, about 45-50, and there is a lorry behind travelling at 60, and we don't make enough progress here to get in there safely. So we have caused that lorry to slow, and now he's going to go for the overtake. I just apologised to him to acknowledge he's there, but yeah, we really could have made more progress and got into that road safer. Here I record a fault for progress. We could be making more. We're doing about 45 miles an hour on the dual carriageway, being overtaken. I remind Svet of what the speed limit is, and then he does speed up and drive at a safer speed for the road conditions. So here the position fault is creeping back in. We're starting to get really close to the solid white line on the left rather than staying in the centre of our lane. Just look at it here, we're going right over up to that line, almost touching it. Okay, so the normal driving fault is just creeping back in again. We're getting close to that solid white line. Okay, so here's Svet's about to exit the dual carriageway. He's in lane 1 in the left-hand lane into the slip road, and he should be defaulting to that left-hand lane straight away. He comes into lane 2 and then just has to move over. So that could have been a little bit tidier there. Straight into left-hand lane would have been good, and therefore not affect traffic behind that wants to overtake. And at the next roundabout, turn left. And again here, the normal driving position fault is coming back here, but this time Svet actually crosses the solid white line. He actually does it twice here. He does it once there and about to go over it now again. So on its own that would be a serious fault, but Svet has been showing that throughout his drive. He's consistently getting a bit close, so we need to have a look at that. As you carry on here, there's a slip road through the roundabout. You don't need to give way there. So Svet slowed down to about 20 miles an hour there on approach to the roundabout. We are in a 40 and we're in a slip road that bypasses the roundabout, so he could have made more progress there. And then at the next roundabout we're going to turn left. So if you look at the sign, see how there's that slip road? Yeah. So we've got another one. You've got a choice. You can either take the slip for left or go up to the roundabout and turn left.
So I'll use that one there.
Yeah, it's easier to use the slip road. But reduce speed. Reduce speed. I'm going to reduce speed because that's very sharp corner. Okay. So there I've had to intervene to slow Svet down on approach to the bend. He was travelling far too fast for the road conditions, so I've braked and I've had to get onto that steering wheel to make sure we go around that corner. And then at the next roundabout we're going to go ahead all other routes. Okay, I've recorded a driving fault at this roundabout for lane discipline. So as we go in, we're in the left-hand lane, but as we get into that roundabout, we've kind of straddled the middle of the roundabout in both lanes. So that's lane discipline. We just want to stay in our lane, in the left-hand lane, so not to affect other traffic. Okay, so Svet repeats the same driving fault here of position lane discipline. So we approach the roundabout to go ahead in the left-hand lane, which is correct, but then again we just straddle those lanes as we go in, and this time there is a blue car coming into the roundabout on lane 2, which if it wanted to pass wouldn't have enough room to go round, so we would affect that car. We didn't today because he was far enough back, but that's something for Svet to be mindful of, and just keep in your lane as you go round that roundabout and try not to straight line the roundabouts. What's the speed limit here? It's 30, so you just get up to 30 forward. That's it. Okay, so we're almost back to the test centre, and Svet makes a serious driving fault along this stretch of road. The speed limit has changed from a 40 to a 30 now, and Svet's speed is creeping up to 34,
Okay,
35 miles an hour. I ask him to slow down and remind him of the speed limit. Normally you'd go into the test centre, but we're not. We're going to turn right and go into macro instead. Okay, and then take the next right into the car park. And there's Fabio. It's funny, isn't it? And what I like to do is if you take the next right, this one here. That's it, just one there. And then you can drive forwards into any bay you like. Just try and finish between the lines. and you can drive through the bays. Okay, thanks. You can turn your engine off. That's the end of the test. Breathe. How you feeling?
It was just strange, that one there, because it's on Fabi's car is different.
Oh, the speed.
The speed.
The speed.
And everything.
Yeah, getting used to a different car. Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because you got that third gear by mistake, didn't you? The traffic lights, and that caused some problems, didn't it?
Also, the clutch is different. When I try to move off a little bit, it moves more than that. That's what happened in the roundabout. Try to move a little bit, and then moved. Yeah. A little bit more.
See, I mean, you've done a good job. You're a good. Yeah, well done, and thank you for doing it. There's some faults. So I'll go through some of the sort of the main ones, which we've just sort of done. So I'm just going to finish this off. So where is it? There it is. That's the one I wanted. So so we talked about the gear. That was sort of led to problems at the traffic lights. Once you'd stalled there, and we're in the middle of the intersection, the lights have now changed back to red. You could see a red light opposite. What was your thinking there? Do you thinking that I'd need to wait there because it's gone back to red, or could you continue if it's safe?
I thought continue.
That's it. Because what's going to happen in the next few seconds?
This turn green for the others.
Yeah, they're going to start coming.
Yeah.
And when you'd stalled, they were still stationary. So there's a period of grace on the lights. We get a little bit of time. And did we have anyone behind us?
Can't remember now. But yeah.
So we need to sort of clear to get them across as well. But if it's not safe, then we obviously wait. But oncoming cars should give ways to any cars left to turn right. Should. Yeah. They might not. So we're still, at that point, we're treating it like a giveaway and looking. So that's why I just intervened there and said we need to keep going. And then when we got into that road, because we created a little bit of a bottleneck behind, everyone was quite keen to get moving. Yeah. And now, were you aware of the speed limit in that road?
Yeah, it was 40.
40, that's it. So we could be more progressive there and just get ourselves away.
Yeah.
And then, that would have eased the problem to the rear. So that was that one. And then, we talked about the roundabout where I intervened there, where that car was coming around. So off the roundabout, let me just draw it. So this is our roundabout. We've got the giveaway lines here. So we're going to go round to the left towards Great Yarmouth on the A47. There's the middle of the roundabout. And there's lanes. There are 3 lanes on that roundabout. And the car was coming round here. And because he could either come in this lane and stay out of your way, but he's got every right to come back into the left. So that's why I need to stop, because he could be going for his left lane into the slip road, the default lane. Okay. And so that's why I need to stop, because if we've had a collision, that would be our fault or your fault. So so I just wanted to prevent that. I think he was coming in and he saw you encroach, and I think he just sort of took a bit of avoiding action to come out your way. So there was that little incident. So I recorded that as observations at the junction. Use of speed just coming along there. We're just creeping up. That got to 34, 35, and we are in the 30s. So we need to. I just needed to tell you there to slow down. Don't want you to break the law. Okay. And again, just recently, off that roundabout where I've intervened and braked, because we're coming in that quite fast. So we've got the slip road, so we've got priority, that we're not giving way, but we've still got to deal with the bend. So we've just gone in there a bit fast, and because it's wet, we needed to take some speed off before we went round that corner. So that was that use of speed. Normal driving position. There's a few times you're getting a little bit close to the curb. You're hitting the drain covers, And do you notice that when you're driving? Do you feel you're getting a little bit close to the edge?
Yeah, no.
To date, on about 3 occasions you did, and I thought, oh, we're getting a bit close here. Then just coming off the A47 off the dual carriageway, we went onto the white line. You had the rumble, so there we've gone on it. So so there's an indication. So you picked up about 3 faults for that. And then the other faults for normal position were just where we could use the left lane.
Yeah, I remember now.
But when I put the video together, you'll see, because what I'll do on the video is I'll pause it and say there's a fault.
Yeah.
And that. So there's some other ones around mirrors which you'll see there. So there's a few mirror faults. There was a signal too early on one occasion. But like I say, I'll go through and see that. But I just wanted to give you sort of the headlines on it. Yeah. Is there anything from you that you thought, oh yeah, I remember, I wasn't sure of a situation or anything you want to talk about? No. Okay, well, cool. So what I do, I'll get that ready, then you can watch it back on the old video. Yeah. And I just really appreciate you doing it. You're a good sport, and thank you. And you got a good instructor there in Fabio.
Yeah, I know.
And he'll sort you out. And I'll just say hello to him as well. And then, because he'll watch this, and then he can sort of see. Yeah. And with that route I went on, I mean, was some of that, you'd not driven on some of those areas, had you?
Most of them.
All right, yeah. So there you go. So that's what we want to prepare you. So when you pass, you can drive anywhere. You can drive anywhere within the traffic system in the UK and be all right. So good. So thanks a lot for doing that, Svet. I hope you enjoy your rest of your driving, and good luck with that test.
Thank you.
And I'm sure Fabio would get you through that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the end of the mock test. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and look out for more mock tests coming to this channel. If you'd like to appear on one of our videos and do a mock test for free, then just get in touch via the links. And thank you to Svet for taking part in this video, and you're a very good sport, and we're going to get you on the way to passing that test.